Yes.
Now we're recording.
Here we go.
No, they can't get far.
Escaping the realm of darkness. The paranormal guys are on a quest to find the answers to the hard questions of where the normal meets the paranormal and the weird, and where the natural meets the unnatural. So grab your holy water, call your mama, and get ready for the Paranormal Guys podcast.
Ooh, hello, everybody. Neil here. Is that you, Steve?
I think it is. Hello, everybody. This is Steve.
Hello. Guess what? It's summertime. Summertime.
Summertime.
Yep, I'm ready to get my thong on and go head out towards the pool later today. Ooh, it's hot. It's a hot day. What do you think?
You gonna scare Bigfoot
Scare a Bigfoot?
if you're wearing a thong?
What would he sound like if I scared him?
I don't know. You know how he sound. I don't have that track. Hold on. If you're wearing a thong, and it's summertime and you come across Bigfoot, you're gonna hear.
Oh, that's the gift that keeps on giving, Steve.
Yeah,
that track. I'll tell you what. Well, it is summertime, and with summertime comes a lot of fun, a lot more activity going on, and we got some great things coming your way with Graveside Paranormal and the Paranormal Guys podcast. Steve, you got a trip coming up on about because today's date is 6/5/2024. Today we are going to be talking with Steve. We're going to be talking with Miss Jill Shelly. Last year we had her on that she owned a haunted house that she purchased in Minnesota, and now she
the Boyd House.
What's it? Yeah, the Boyd House, and now she bought a second house.
Nice.
In the southern part of Illinois. It's the haunted 1861 Masonic Lodge in Keithsburg, Illinois. So she bought one, and now she bought two.
She has two haunted houses.
Two haunted houses, man. Wow. I might want to eventually have at least one. That would be pretty cool.
I mean, how do you start a house to be haunted? Like, if you have a regular house and you want it to be a haunted house, can you upgrade?
Well, I guess you could. Maybe you could open up some doorways and things, and start throwing out the old Ouija board. Throw some bad intent, a little bit of recipe there. Maybe do some opening some mirrors. Doing bad things. Maybe, yeah. You could probably get within the right kind of not the right kind of intent, but the bad kind of intent, and you could probably make a house haunted. I actually think it's possible. I really do. I mean, if you, I
mean, the hard part is getting the money to buy a house.
Yeah.
But you can make it haunted.
Well, apparently, if you can buy 1, 2 and have your original house, you must be doing pretty good in life, my friend.
But I like her stories because the places that she's getting, they have a history to them.
Oh, yeah. Both of them each got a history to them. I mean, if we were to go in on getting ourselves a haunted house, I mean, number one, we have to invest in it, and you got to invest in if there's, because a lot of these houses, when you go and you rent them, they don't have heat. Some of these buildings don't have heat. They don't have plumbing. When you go to investigate them, take for instance, we were at the Lake County Jail. We went in March, a year ago, and
cold.
Oh my God, it was cold. Oh, it's so cold. There's no heat. And in the summertime, because of all that brick, it becomes hot, and so now it's overbearing.
Yeah.
So but
and then it's all booked on that in the sweet spot in the springtime.
Yeah, people still love going to them, all these hot spots and cold spots, and they love going to all these places. Yeah. And we're looking forward to being able to provide some people with some things to take. For instance, just so people know, we are going to have now we rented out for October the Monroe House. I believe that's going to be October 19th. And Pete Christ, one of our tour guides, Pete, is going to be having people out there at the Monroe House on October 19th, starting at 8 o'clock until whenever he decides to end it. So we're going to be
That's
taking.
for the hardcore folks only, I think.
Yeah, the thing that we caught at the Monroe house at first, it was more the evidence that we attained. Like we got this one EVP that says kneel. It says kneel, and then it pauses. Please, kill, kill, kill. And I'm like, damn. And we actually, I got a personal thing from the place. It's just so you know, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to go to the Monroe house, remember this is another level of going to a haunted place. Okay, if you're
It's
looking
not
for
the starter
it's
house.
not for your starter kit. It's not a starter kit. I have
Right.
to admit, it's not a starter kit. More intermediate, that next level, after you've already put it underneath your belt, maybe like an Ashmore Estates or something like that.
Compared
Or
to the
Loft
Sally
House,
house,
or the
where would
Loft
you put
House.
it?
Well, I would actually put the Sally House kind of like in between beginner and intermediate.
Oh, okay.
Like it's about to. I mean, there's some, like I said, there's strong entities inside that Sally house, but um, I'll tell you, the attachments that you can get from the Monroe house, though, it's a possibility. There is a big possibility there.
I didn't like it.
I know
I
you
mean,
didn't.
but I do know that a lot of people would like it. Like Tommy would like it.
Oh yeah, he'd be running around,
Yeah.
like he'd just
But,
enjoy that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So, with that being said, Steve, how are we doing on the news today? Can I go first today, or do you want to go
You
first?
can. Real quick update. So about my trip that's coming up
Oh,
to
please.
Nimblewell.
Yeah, you got like 20 more days. You're leaving
Yeah.
on the 25th, I think.
And I was like thinking everything's going to be safe and everything, right?
Yeah.
But I got word from Mitch that Carl Jenkins has gone missing.
His brother.
His brother. So the last time they saw him, Carl went out to the woods to fetch something, and that's how they say he went to fetch. I forgot what it was, like a squirrel or something.
Squirrel.
And
they eat
and then
squirrels?
Yeah, they said they're pretty good out there. I'm bringing my own food though. But
Whoa.
yeah. So Carl went out, and there was like a light and a high pitched noise, and then Mitch hasn't seen his brother since, and that was like 5 days ago.
So is he canceling with you? I mean, that's a family problem. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you canceling it?
And right now he said it's okay. He said it happens from now and then, or his brother will get abducted by these aliens. So
He might be just maybe
do you
he
want me
went
to
out
go? You still want me to go out there?
I mean, it's up to you. I don't, if you don't want to go, you don't have to go. I mean, it's up to you. If you feel
I'll do it for the fans because they want to know, and I want to make sure that
if you feel there's a story out there, man, you feel safe, then do it. I mean, he may have just opened up one too many Pabst Blue Ribbons, and probably got lost in the woods. That's all that is. You live out in the country. You probably. I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm sure we drink. A little bit. We enjoy the open air and open Paps. Or maybe a Schlitz. And
for now, I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna see, and I'll come back with more.
Now, how long is your trip going to be? About 7-10 days?
Nah, like I should only be out there for like 3 days.
Oh, it's nothing. Driving to Georgia, I think, is like 8-9 hours from Illinois.
Right, it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad. You're gonna be
spend a couple days out there, and then I'll be right back.
Well, I'm not gonna be that far. Actually, I'm gonna be in Tennessee about the same time. So, if you need something, I'm sure.
I need something from Tennessee.
What's that?
Moonshine pickles, please.
Oh, those are good. Yeah, we got those. He got you those before, didn't we?
I like those.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into the news, and thanks for updating us with your travel plans.
Sure.
All right. So with that, let's get right into the news. Here we go. All right, the paranormal guys, weird news. I'm going to start off this one. Is that okay, Steve?
Absolutely.
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 Pabst Blue Lucy.
Pabst Blue. All right, what I put up
Lucy.
here is a classroom with what looks like to be a silhouette of an apparition. This is by our buddy, our pal from Coast to Coast AM, Mr. Tim Banal. An elementary school class in Zimbabwe was overcome with fright when both the teacher and the students spotted a ghostly figure in the room. According to local media, the very weird incident occurred on Monday morning at the Maberi Primary School in the community of Zangiza. At some point after the lessons for the day had gotten underway, things took an unsettling turn when one class of fourth graders was joined by what was later described as a shadow-like image in the form of a woman who suddenly appeared sitting at the table. What made the sighting particularly strange was that it was not only observed by the students, but also their teacher, who was equally astonished by the eerie interloper. It would seem that the class did not spend all that time much trying to come to grips with what they were seeing, as the teacher and the children all stampeded out of the room with such haste that one youngster wound up being injured in the chaos. Strangely, when the other staff and students attempted to catch a glimpse of the ghostly figure that had caused all the commotion, it was nowhere to be seen. While local officials have pledged to investigate the spooky incident, some observers have already offered a rather odd theory for what may have been the unnerving event. Speaking to reporters while picking up their kids following the curious I don't know how to say this word, kerfuffle. I never even kerfuffle. I'd like to have one kerfuffle, please. One parent expressed dismay that there was something frightening our children at the school. They went to declare that we strongly suspect that one of the staff members dabbles in Satanism, suggesting that a ghostly sighting may have wound up sparking a proverbial witch hunt, if you will. So what happens if somebody whipped open a Ouija board and they decided to open up something that night while all the kids were away, and it showed up during the morning? Weird.
Sounds like a kerfuffle to me.
Boy, that sounds like a kerfuffle. I like a kerfuffle with some fries. Thank you.
Some kerfuffle fries with
Give
that.
me those damn kerfuffle flies. Thank you.
Fries. That's kind of a crazy story, though. A ghost appearing, and then they're dabbling with the Satanism, you know. And then that's Zimbabwe. I'm surprised it wasn't like, some voodoo stuff.
Maybe somebody's into the voodoo.
Maybe
you're voodoo.
Or they're all taking that fentanyl or something. Who knows?
Man, do you ever see the movie Serpent in the Rainbow?
No, I heard about it though.
Oh, rent that movie one day.
Isn't that like? No, I'm thinking Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
No, that's totally different, man. Totally different.
Okay.
All right. So what you got for us, Steve?
Well, I got a nice story for you, Neil. A woman claims dripping urine in your eyes cures vision problems.
That is disgusting, Steve.
Yes, but she has 20/20 vision. A Spanish woman sparked controversy after claiming that dripping urine into her eyes cured her myopia and astigmatism. Urine therapy, or urotherapy if you're English, is a form of alternative medicine popularized by the British neuropath John W. for wee Armstrong in the early 20th century. Advocates of this unusual form of therapy promote the application of human urine for medical and cosmetic purposes, including massaging one's skin or gums with one's urine, and even drinking it. Oh, now there's a TikTok user and assistant physical counselor, Samo Frail, I think, claims that urine is also much better for treating eye problems than the chemical-infused medicine prescribed by most doctors. The woman has claimed to drip urine into her eyes daily until it cured her astigmatism and myopia. Think of that.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm not doing that. I'd rather go blind.
I know, right? That's what I say.
That's what my eyes would be feeling like.
Like, you remember that movie Cocoon?
Yeah.
And they jump in the pool and then they become young?
Yeah.
It's like, you're swimming in the pool and lady's like, for some reason, whenever I'm swimming with that Neil Gibbons, I can see clear for like an hour or two. I don't know why.
I don't know why.
Then you got all these old people jumping in the pool when Neil's in the pool. Like, I can see the light. Thank you, Neil. I don't know what it's about that boy, but every time I'm swimming near him, I get 20/20 vision.
Did you drink a lot of water today, Neil? Yes, I did. Oh, I'm jumping in the pool.
That's kind of gross. That's a gross story.
You think putting urine in your eyes?
Now, people do weird things like that. And I have no idea where they get such ideas. I have to say it's probably from the devil. But there's only one place for urine, and that's in the woods by the tree.
And guess what? You're going to be in the woods very soon by a tree.
That's right. Hey, guys. They're going to be like, Steve, you wear glasses. We can fix that for you. Sit over there by the tree.
Hold them down, boys. Hold them down.
Pull them by that tree.
We're going to cure the blindness right now. Hold them down. No, please stop. No, boy, I'm going to cure you. I'm going to lay it on you.
It's like laser therapy. Now I got a stream. Now, we got 2 streams, 1 for each eye. Come over here, Bill. Help me cure this boy.
Crack open another Paps. Because we got to make sure there's a lot of urine running today.
Yeah, he's got an astigmatism. We got to get another guy in here. Get over here.
Oh, boy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed our fine, entertaining thing about urine today.
I think you got a cavity. So,
oh my God.
Anyway,
smart, boy, I think you got a cavity.
Oh, that wisdom tooth, that's back in there. That's way back there. Open up wide, boy. We all cure you today.
Oh, dear Lord in heaven. All right, we got to end this. All right, so next up. Oh, dear Lord. That got me. All right, next up is Jill Shelly and 2 haunted houses. And as always, boys and girls, boo. Dear Lord.
Hey there. If you're on the hunt for some captivating podcasts about the supernatural, paranormal, aliens, or anything that'll send shivers down your spine, the Paranormal Guys podcast has you covered. Find them on various streaming platforms, and don't forget to check out them on YouTube channel at Graveside Paranormal. Happy listening, and boo.
Now, back to the Paranormal Guys podcast.
All right, we are back. Tonight's episode is an episode where we had Miss Jill Shelly on and I think it was around the summertime of last year, early summertime. She came to us to talk about a home that she purchased, a haunted residence called the Boyd House.
Mm-hmm.
So recently, Steve, she reached out to me about maybe a month ago saying, Neil, I bought another one.
Another one. Wow.
Yeah. She bought, let me pull this up here, an 1861 Illinois Masonic. Hold on, let's look it up right here. I got it right here. Haunted 1861 Masonic Lodge.
Oh, wow. That looks so cool.
It's a large building. Very large.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, it's a lot of upkeep that we're going to have to talk to her about. So I'm going to welcome her in a second here. Hold tight. Here we go. Jill, welcome into the Paranormal Guys podcast.
Hey guys, thanks for having me back on.
Oh, of
welcome
course.
back.
Maybe you told me you bought another house. I said, well, we got to talk about this.
Yeah.
I have so many questions for you.
Oh, so many questions. And what's nice is Jill sent us some evidence that don't mind the. Oh my God, that sunlight is so bad.
It's not the sun; it's the Lord.
It's the Lord blessing me. To have Jill on
It's
today.
the angels from heaven above.
Yeah, that's what it is. So Jill has on. She has evidence with us, but let's really get into this. What year did you buy the original house, the Boyd house?
That was in 2018.
2018, you bought the Boyd house. And how's that been going for you, by the way?
Oh, fantastic. We've had so many people in. It's booked up quite often, which is great because it's still helping us do a lot of restorations because we just had to put some back stairs on. We had to get a tree cut down and still need some work going on. So that's really helping pay for everything.
Oh, yeah, because a lot of these older buildings, a lot of people don't realize you got to keep restoring things to these older buildings. And that actually brings... Huh? Go ahead.
How does that affect the activity in the Boyd house as you're doing, work on the house? I heard that sometimes that might get things more active. Are you noticing any of that happening as more people are coming in and you're able to fund some changes in the house?
I think it's just getting more active just because we have a lot more people coming in and getting more of that energy, just creating that flow to the house. So I haven't noticed like an uptake on, the activity. I think like when we bring new stuff in, whether, because we like to bring them a lot of gifts and such, so, and I think they also like new equipment. So if it's something they haven't seen before, they tend to kind of gravitate towards new things. Or we've actually been conversing with the first granddaughter of the Eckhart family now. And she sent us a couple pictures of the family photos that I've never seen before. And I brought those along and we put like a REM pod up next to it. And we're like, hey, do you remember these photos? And then the REM pod would go off. So that was kind of a cool way to do that too.
Right.
That's very cool.
It's so interesting. Now, first you always wanted to buy your first haunted house. Okay. And then all of a sudden you went and bought a second haunted house, the Masonic Lodge. I'm curious, how do you do a search to find one of these houses for sale or buildings for sale?
Well, I just same thing with the Boyd house. I just kind of search the MLS listings. They have some that just list commercial properties for sale. So the lodge was considered a commercial property. So I'm always on the hunt for looking for something. Well, now I can't because I got to concentrate on this one. But maybe for a few more years, I can go for number 3.
Oh, wow.
I really don't think I'm in sound mind, really. But so
yeah.
So I just found it on my own and it just called to me when I saw the picture. I'm like, oh my God, this is like, I have to go check this out. This is an amazing deal. I wasn't really happy. It was a couple states away,
okay,
but it was just, I felt so strongly about this location that I just had to have it.
Right.
Interesting.
I mean, I just, man, it's unbelievable. I can move.
Are the ghosts in the Boyd house a little jelly that you went out and got a new place?
I did mention it to him, but I haven't heard anything back about it.
Wow. I mean, it is just amazing. I understand 1, but 2. So do you think maybe we'll be talking next year about 3?
I don't think it'll be within a year. I would love that to happen, but the lodge, as you saw, was from 1861, and she needs some work. So that's going to take a lot of cost. It needs like a new roof. All the windows need to be redone because we have a couple that are completely broken out, and then other ones where we've just put plastic over the windows. So that's all got to get redone. And then there's just so much stuff to do, and we want to get all those amenities put in, like the electric and the plumbing and that kind of situation. But we're going to focus on the building first rather than the amenities because I feel like as an investigator, just having a bathroom and everything else is bonus. So
are you a lottery winner?
No, I work. Well, actually I just dropped down to a part-time. So I work 32 hours a week right now.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, because you got to get those extra 8 hours to fix it with the Masonic Lodge.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, fortunately, I work as a surgical technologist, so we make pretty decent money.
Dear Lord, a surgical technologist.
Yeah, I'm not medically or not extremely wealthy, but I do okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Are you single? I'm just joking.
The what kind of activity is at this new place? I mean, we did the Boyd House episode. We know how the spirits are there. Um, is the energy similar? Is there a darker energy? Is it lighter? Is it what's going on at the new place?
Well, I think we're just kind of starting to tackle the tip of the iceberg on this one because I just bought it September of 2023. So with winter and it's been cold and such, of course, we really haven't had snow, but I've only got to be there 4 times so far. And then plus the one time when I went to go look at it before I purchased it. When I got there, it was just super cool to walk around. I actually got a couple EVPs while I was there. They were pretty faint whispers. I wasn't able to really make exactly what they said, but they were all sentences. I think was one like "I can see you," and then
we're going to pull up that in a couple minutes.
Right.
But give us a breakdown of the history of the Masonic Lodge, and like you said, it called out to you. So explain that, and please a little bit of background of this place.
Well, I just recently got the deed and stuff, so it actually starts like my deed in like 1919 or 12, something like that. And then at that time it became the Masonic Lodge, but it actually was built in 1861. So I need to find out, was it still a lodge then? It was the 3rd building built in that town, at all.
Right.
So there's got to be a little bit of history. And because I don't live in the state, I haven't been able to get as much done. So we're going to be out there in April quite a bit, getting things ready for the May opening. And so I'm going to kind of stop at the Historical Society and stuff. So as far as I know, it's always been a lodge. So I haven't heard of any deaths or anything at this point. I know they had a big picnic back in 1912. And it brought in over 1,000 people, which was a lot back then. This giant picnic, and then it was kind of fun because they had like the names of the people who won the races and what kind of food they had, and just kind of some neat things too. So just learning a lot about it. I've got a lot of newspaper clippings right now of basically like who became who and who, when they did their elections, who was the grand guy and everything. So just kind of starting to get into all that really fun information.
Wow, cool. So let's look at some of the evidence you have here. The first one I'm going to pull up is the covered slam. Take us through it. And first, let me show the video and then go ahead and explain.
Okay.
Now, I have to say, it sounds like to me someone just got their butt whooped.
Yeah, that's like a domestic dispute.
Yeah. It sounds like this is a domestic.
So it was interesting. Teresa was actually in the kitchen. So she was making a sandwich. I was on the telephone in the next room. And then the other 2 teammates were just talking amongst themselves. Well, I heard that loud bang, and my thought in my head was like, did she just drop the cooler on the floor? Like, that's how loud. And I thought it had to have been a big object in order to make that loud banging. And then she comes busting through the door. So that's what you hear, a lot of that commotion after she screams. So she's kind of busting through the other door, and she's just like, oh my God, something just slammed something behind me. So we go in there, we look, there's nothing on the floor. There's really nothing in the lodge anyway that like would have fell to the floor. And then we just kind of determined, we just opened a cupboard door and slammed it, and that sounded just like it. So then we went in the other room and somebody slammed it, and that was the same exact sound. So we came to the conclusion that it was the cabinet being slammed. And then later, when we were running an Estes session, we had a spirit say, is he still in the kitchen? And we're like, who? And they said, Harold. And we said, no. And she goes, well, he likes to slam doors. He thinks it's funny. So we just kind of feel like this is a spirit that's a jokester.
So you think, so there is possibly an intelligent haunting that's going on inside the Masonic Lodge.
Oh, definitely, for sure. They have, our Estes sessions have been insane. Just even some of our EVPs are to what we're doing and what's going on. So I definitely, for sure. And then I think we might have some residual too, because we've heard footsteps and all different kinds of things while we were there.
All right. So let's take it into the next one. You caught an EVP. Now, is this the first time you guys investigated the evidence that you sent me? Is this the first investigation?
It's a combination of from all four of our investigations, so I can't say which one happened when. I do know the one with the door slam that was with the whole team, and that was back in November. So,
all right. All right, let's check out the next one. This is an EVP saying, "Can't say I would." Let's take a listen.
Can you do that again?
Now that sounds like either like a child or a lady.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think, Jill?
Oh, to me, it sounds like a kid for sure. I know when I went on my initial walkthrough, I actually was standing outside right by the door, and I actually got a little kid's voice said body. And there were no children around at that particular time. There was actually nobody in town. It's a very small town, like that, a little bigger than Boyd. There's about 600 people in this town, but it's in the business district. And on a Sunday, there was like nothing going on. So
was it always a Masonic Lodge, or was there people who lived there as a family?
As far as I know, it's always been a lodge. Somebody did tell me it might have been a hotel at one point. I have to kind of research that a little bit. But also another possibility that we've come to, through Estes session and other EVPs that we've determined there is children there. Our one possible thought is just being as it was a Masonic Lodge, and then like the Shriners, they're very involved with children. Mm-hmm. We thought maybe back in the day when they had a breakout of scarlet fever or smallpox or something, that maybe they housed the children in the upper half. Just to keep them away from all of the general population. I haven't confirmed that. That's just kind of a thought that we came up with, possibly. So, and it totally could be. We don't know, because that's, way back in the day. There might not even be any records of that. But we did have a child spirit come through on the Estes saying that his friend Mark was with him. And he said that he said he died of a fever, but he didn't say fever. He just said he was hot like fire, and that he had sores on his arms. So that's where we kind of came up with the correlation of maybe these children were housed here when they were sick, and that's why.
What about disembodied voices? Did you guys catch any of those?
I haven't audibly heard anything as far as voices yet, just things I've captured for the EVPs when I didn't hear them at the time. But we have heard footsteps, and then we did at one point, we were upstairs in the lodge where they would have held their meetings. And we were all just kind of sitting around talking, trying to see if we could get them to engage with any of the equipment. And then all of a sudden we kind of heard like almost somebody shaking a door, like they're trying to get in. So my first instinct was to run up and look through the window, look down and see if anybody was at the front door. There was nobody at the front door. And then we just kind of walked around and kind of determined, what it would be. So there's 2 closet doors. There's 2 smaller rooms right off the big meeting room, and those doors were open, but they each have a closet door. And if you kind of rattle it, it made the same kind of sound. So it's a possible, we don't know which side it was coming from, but it was very, very loud, like, like really trying to get this closet door open. So that was kind of cool to have that happen too.
Are doors pretty heavy? They're like,
they're the old doors. I mean, the woodwork in there is all from the get-go, from the beginning. So it's really beautiful. We got that stained glass right in front when you walk in. And then we did mop one room once, but we have to do it again because it's that filthy. But you can see there's this beautiful oak floor underneath in one of the rooms. So we're looking forward to finding anything that possibly that we could uncover. Hopefully we'll find something really cool. But somebody had it before I purchased it, and they were going to turn it into an event center. So they've cleaned a lot of stuff out, unfortunately. So if anybody got any Masonic stuff, they either pitched it or they sold it or gave it away. So We just have a few things remaining that were to the lodge that I found. So we're keeping those for sure.
Now, did the previous owner talk to you about things that they experienced? And how long did they have it before they sold it?
I think they had it for about 4 or 5 years, but they didn't do anything with it. The building, according to the townspeople, had been vacant for many, many years. So nobody's even been in there at all. But someone did come forward and tell me a story where they were walking into the building to talk to somebody, and they saw somebody scrubbing the floor in the dining room on their hands and knees. They just said hello. And then they walked into the kitchen to talk to the people that were there. And then she was just like, well, who was out scrubbing the floors? And they're like, there's nobody scrubbing the floors. And they go out there, and of course, nobody's out there scrubbing the floors. So there's definitely a history of spirits being there. So that's kind of neat that I'm getting people coming forward into the town to say some stories.
Now, from the old previous owners, was their intent the same as your intent?
No, as far as I was told, they were going to do some sort of event center out of it, and then they just kind of probably bailed on the whole idea.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they never did any. They never really did anything.
They kind of went in kind of a rough time when there were lockdowns, and like it probably prevented from doing some things that they wanted to do, or got like, is this going to work out for us? Kind of questions. So interesting how it they kind of bought it around the time you bought the Boyd house.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they held on to it for you.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, it was trouble getting there, and because it was weird because when I first tried to find it, I reached out to a couple realtors, and they're like, I can't find it. I don't know who's selling it. They couldn't, you couldn't, and I was like, I just had a hard time buying it. And actually, I came across an awesome realtor that she's like, I'm going to find it. And then she did. She called me back an hour later. She goes, yeah, it wasn't easy, but I found it.
Wow.
But I kind of feel it was divine intervention in a way, too, because we go to look at it. And when I got there, she said, I'm sorry, I can't get the padlock to unlock. I can't. I don't know.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
Here we drove 6 hours to take a look at it. So she's, on the phone with the people trying to get things figured out. And they lived like an hour away or something. And they're like, well, if you can get in there without breaking anything, and you get in any way you can, So we decided, well, we're going to take the padlock off the door. So my husband went next door to look for a screwdriver at the gas station. Mm-hmm. And so, she's on the phone, and then he's at the gas station. For some reason, I just walked up and I touched the padlock, and it went click, and it unlocked. I go, well, I think they wanted me here.
Interesting.
She literally had been I watched her. She's like,
really,
and it wouldn't come.
That's weird.
So that
was a sign for you, yeah.
That's why I said, well, they wanted me in, so and I just was like, here I go. So,
that's weird, man.
Yeah.
So the next little video that we're going to show is, it looks like a large room, and we're going to hear an EVP saying, "You got dolls." Yeah, I could hear that. You got dolls.
Again, the kids.
Right? Go ahead, Steve.
It's like a kid's voice, is what I'm interpreting it as.
Yeah.
The same voice?
No, that's not the same voice, though.
It sounds similar. It does sound
similar.
It sounds similar to me. I don't know if it's the same child or not. Mm-hmm. But that was one of the first times I got to investigate this. That footage was from the very first time I went to the lodge to actually investigate after I purchased. And because of that EVP of the body from the child that I got at the lodge, I thought, I'm going to just bring some toys. So I kind of spread those around. And then that's one of the EVPs I captured. So there was a doll and just a couple, like a ball and some different things I brought for them. So I think they were just asking for more stuff.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's do this really quick. Let's do a little investigation. I'm going to play that first one, says, "Can't say I would." And then we're going to compare it with "You Got Dolls," because I don't think that's the same voice, but I could be wrong. All right, let's play this real quick. Let's see.
Can you do that again?
All right, so it almost sounds like smart-assy.
Yeah.
Can't say I would. So let's play it with this one now. Those are two different voices.
No, it sounds the same.
It does. I don't know. Now it does sound a little different that I hear it now.
Yeah, those are two. That's a female's voice, and that first voice sounds like a boy's voice. Like, he's a little smart ass, And but the second one, it definitely sounds like a female.
Which would make sense why they were asking for the dolls.
Yeah. All right. I mean, interesting. How big is this place actually?
It's 4,000 square feet.
Okay.
So it's got like the basement's got like 2 small rooms. It's all just brick down there. I've only been down there like 2 times. Really haven't gotten anything. But again, it doesn't mean there's nothing there. I just haven't spent a lot of time down there. And then upstairs, there's kind of like there's 2 when you walk in. You can go either left or right, and they're like these 2 doors that you open like that are all glass. So you can go either way, and that'll take you into a smaller room. And then on the right, when you go in, that'll take you into the dining hall, and then back to that blue room that we just saw the video of about the dolls. And then that you can keep going. You go to the kitchen, and then you go around down the hall. There's another small room, and then you're kind of back to the beginning. And then upstairs, there's just, again, you go either way. There's 2 small rooms, and then it opens up to the actual meeting room, which runs the whole gamut of the house. And then there's also a little projection area too. So you just kind of walk up the stairs, and then there's a little overlook. You can see everything. They got a little projection stand there.
Right.
And then you can even up by the main part of where we put a podium, because I felt like that was the front. You actually can see where they would have had a pull down screen too, mounted up on the ceiling. So that's kind of cool.
Oh, wow. So is it on a large part of land? Is it acre or anything?
Oh gosh, no, it's a super tiny lot. It's like, so it just pretty much runs the perimeter of the building and just goes out a little bit ways on both sides. So
yeah,
which is good because it's a lot less to maintain. But we do have a nice view because there's a nice, really big yard right next to us that the city just owns, and they just mow it. It's got a tree. It's kind of a nice little spot,
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's nice. Nice little spot for ghosties.
Oh yeah.
All right. So the next EVP that we're going to hear is "You Want That Now." Okay, let's check this out. All right. So. Yeah. That's definitely another different voice.
Oh yeah, definitely. We've gotten several different. We've gotten like more men, the kids sound, sometimes the women. That one I think we were just asking them to do something, and I think they're like, "You want us to do that now?" kind of thing. We didn't hear that at the time. It's just on the voice recorder afterwards. But yeah, we pick up multiple different voices. Estes, we probably got 5 or 6 different people that came through, told us their name, and they were really excited to have us there. Like the main one that came through was Jerry. And he was excited that we were going to do some work. He said, "We acknowledge your work here. You're protected." Just very excited to have us there. We had a couple children come through. One of the mothers of the children came through and said, "Is he being annoying?" Well, she didn't say annoying.
Oh, really?
She said, "Is he too much?" is what she said.
So the voice that we just heard, it actually, to me, my ears, sounds British.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because Teresa said that there was this woman that kept coming through, who said she was the mother of one of the boys. She said she sounded like a British English type accent. She said she kept.
Yeah, I want everybody to listen to this one more time. Yeah. Like, "You want your tea, sir?"
Yeah.
"You like some tea, sir?" What do you think, Steve?
Sounds like like an older lady.
That sounds like a lady.
To me, yeah. I don't know.
No,
it sounds like
I'm putting the voice as like anywhere between 16 to 19 years of age.
No, I'm like 86 lady. you want that now?
You want
Sonny
it now, Mister Crawfords.
But I don't know. Like my hearing isn't as great as yours, Neil. I'm losing my hearing. So, but that's what it sounds to me like, an old lady, an old British lady holding a cup of tea.
All right.
And she's like
leave that there
telling her husband, "You want that now?
You want that now?
We've been dead for 2 centuries. You want that
You
now?
want this now? What do you want?
I'm 86. You want it now?" Sorry.
Sorry. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to one of your devices, a lantern. It's an EMF, correct?
Right. EMF lantern. And I'm not always a big seller on EMF because, there's so many different things that can set it off that you don't know. But what I find a little bit more validity to the EMF here is that we have no power in the building.
That's what I was about to say. There's no Wi-Fi. There's no power. So where is it coming from? And you being an investigator, you're already putting your phone more likely in airplane mode. Not that it would draw that. I see in the video, you're far back. Okay. So
Right.
for me, it's not going to really pull something like that. That kind of wave is not going to happen. So let's check this one out here. So you can see it's right next to the Raggedy Ann doll, and it's like pulsating. I never used that certain item before. I usually just use regular EMF. But once again, it's designed off an EMF idea program, whereas it's supposed to go off with anything electronic, not electronic, but some kind of energy around surrounding it.
Right. Yeah. And that was the same time we caught that EVP of the kid asking if we have the dolls. Also, in that room, I have placed, and this was on a different occasion, but we now have a China hutch in there where I have been given a lot of Masonic items that people have been donating to me. So I brought in all these different books and a shirt and different things that were Masonic. And I put a regular K2 meter on the top shelf inside a China hutch, and it kept going to red. So you explained to me like how and again, no power in the building. So, and it didn't do it all night long. It just did it a couple times that I caught it on film, but it would be like red, red, red. And then maybe another couple hours went by and it happened again. But it was very few and far between. So you can't even say like, there's a jolt of something that went through. So,
I mean, anything can happen. It's just, I just know when you turn off everything, the likelihood of that really happening is kind of slim and none.
Right. Especially with it, like you say, there's no power. We've used the EMF trip wires too, in different locations, and it doesn't go off every single time. I haven't had it go off downstairs. I laced it across the steps one time. It went off one time on the steps, just like 2 of them. And then we've had them upstairs on the different ends of I call them the altars. They've gone off there as well. So,
all right, that's actually what I'm going to pull up next is this tripwire. You're going to see it go off. It looks like it's I know the video is a little dark, but it looks like it's in a doorway. Stand by. So you could totally see, Steve, that the tripwire over to our left, that was going off. Could something be going in and out of a door? I don't know.
Yeah, that's actually draped across the one end of the altars. That's what I call the altars at the end. So there's one on each end of the lodge. That's where they would have held their meetings. So we've gotten quite a bit of action on different equipment too on either end of those areas.
Okay, and then I have the Paradise one here, and I believe this is our final little evidence.
Hello. Hi. My name is Jill. Nice to meet you. Are you excited about that? I think he's excited.
What's nice about that is you can see, because I'm looking at your timestamp, it's 5:33 in the afternoon, early evening. So you're getting activity in normal parts of the day as well.
Right. Yeah, we've had stuff happen during the daytime too, like even the footage with the kids and stuff in that bigger blue room. That's like at 2 or 3 in the afternoon. So we've been getting that, and then you still get stuff in the middle of the night. It's kind of all the time, really. That we have stuff going on. So I wouldn't say more active daytime, nighttime, but again, I've only been there 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm just excited to see what everybody starts getting. And for me, what else, I can capture and get to while I'm there.
Did you sleep inside the building yet?
Yeah, every time we've gone, we've slept there with air mattresses and stuff. So yeah, I sleep good. I don't know. I'm old though, so once I'm in bed, I'm gone.
Not me, man. I have to be in my particular bed. People ask me, they go, "Oh, you gonna spend the night?" Nope. Not spending the night. I spent a lot of money on a bed that I own. I understand if I went totally out of town, I get it. I have no other choice. Oh my God, though. Sleep is so important to me. Sorry.
Oh, it is too, but that's why, you spend a lot of money on a really good blow up air mattress. So I got like the really tall, extra tall, and it's just super comfy. So it's almost just like being at home, not quite, but and we've gone there too when it's not that super warm. So we've got like the propane heater going. So you can get nice and toasty, and then you go out and you freeze, and then you come back in. It's like warming by the campfire. We're all standing by the propane heater,
Yeah, and you and your husband are quite adventurous. I'll give you that. You guys are quite adventurous.
Oh, he just has to go along for the ride. I can't say he's having fun. But
okay.
No, he is. He doesn't mind doing it, because he supports me.
That's good. That's good that that you guys are like that. My wife's the same way with me as well. Like we just went somewhere yesterday, and she hung out with me, even though it's not her cup of tea. You have a cup of tea, sir? It's not really her cup of tea, but she still supports me on the silly things I do. But so that and the tripwire we saw. So when are you going to start really opening it up to the general public?
Actually, May 1st is when we're going to start letting people in. We just got to finish up. There's quite a bit of trash. It's all kind of bagged up now. We just got to get it out of there. And just we pretty much got a lot of the cleaning done now. So just kind of put the final touches up through the month of April, and then start letting people in May. So we've actually been taking reservations already, and I think we only have 12 Saturdays left for the season that we're open.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow,
So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we're open 365 days. Well, not really 365, but we are Sunday through Saturday available.
All year round.
Just going to be April right now through October, just because of no heat and stuff. We do have a porta potty available for people to use. But just because we don't have the heat and stuff, I don't anticipate anybody coming in the wintertime. So we're just not even going to deal with that. So
now, is it something that you are going to install heat?
Probably heat would be the very, very last thing. Like I said, I think we're going to do the windows and the roofing first. And then after that, we'll look into getting the amenities as far as the indoor plumbing and the electric and stuff. It is wired. It's just, I think I really need to have somebody come out to make sure is it safe? And what else do we need to do? And, so there is plumbing there. I just also need to have somebody make sure that everything is good, correct. I don't have to replace piping. I guess when I looked at it, looked okay, but it's also very old and rusty looking. So I don't want any leaks or anything like that. So
that's the one thing you don't want is leaks.
Right.
Well,
outside of like wintertime being cold, as far as investigating goes, it's not an ideal time either, because older buildings shrink maybe a little bit, and they make little creaky noises, and they just might give off false positives, if you will, of activity.
Yeah, you would have to make sure that you know that, and I probably than anything that you hear, unless it's blatant, that you would probably just have to ignore that possibility too. And I think also the cold takes a toll on your equipment. Like batteries. They don't last long. We had that when we were there in November. It was, I think, about 35 degrees out. And our batteries were struggling even at 35. So they were getting pretty chilly and dying pretty quickly. I'm like, because on my camcorders, I have the big extra dual heavy duty batteries, so they're supposed to last like 1,000 hours. But they probably only lasted 3, and I had to switch. And I went through several, and then I ran out, so I couldn't even film the whole night because they were all.
Oh, wow.
Now, how much are you charging?
This one is $350 a night for up to 10 people, and then you get the place from 3 p.m. till noon the next day.
That's not bad.
Oh, wow. That's not bad at all.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. So you go in there when you say you start at 3 p.m. till
Right.
noon the next following day.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's a very fair price if you ask me.
Yeah, I figure, just like with the Boyd House, I do the same hours. It kind of gives you some time to get in, get your stuff set up, get your bearings, and you can eat dinner, come in, do a lot of investigating, and then if you stay up most of the night, you can catch some sleep before your drive home. So.
And where's the location again?
This is in Keithsburg, Illinois. So I'm not really good at the geography, but it's on the lower end.
Okay. Southern Illinois.
Yeah, it's more southern. It's like if you go to, I believe it's called Muscatine, Iowa, we're about 30 minutes over the border. So real close.
Okay.
I think from where me and Steve are, I think it's like a 3.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
From where we're at.
Yeah, it's got a really nice location because even, for me, and I'm way out of the cities, but even from the Twin Cities, you're looking at maybe 5.5 hours, which isn't too horrible.
No.
Illinois obviously is real close. A lot of people in Iowa are close. Indiana, still, you're only looking at 4.5 hours. So I think the location's really good too. It can get a lot of draws. Some people, even in Wisconsin, are only 3.5 hours away, depending where in Wisconsin you are. So yeah, it's got a really good location and a nice draw.
And what's your website?
That is the haunted1861masonic.com.
Okay. And then they can email you from that website, or do you guys also have a business number on there too?
We don't have a phone number, but you can get all the information on how to book the location. And it it's got a little history, some pictures and things. You can also always direct email us at masonic1861@yahoo.com as well.
Okay. I gotta ask a question for you, Jill, though. When you're sleeping, and you're used to haunted houses and you're used to being in them, right? Now this is a new one. You sleep in it, you do some investigating. How do I ask this? Have you experienced any unique emotions or thoughts that aren't necessarily yours afterwards?
Attachment?
Like attachments is what I'm getting at. Yeah.
Not really.
And not in a negative sense, but just like, hey, you're our lady. And, like they open the keypad for you, or the lock on the door. And I'm just like, sometimes Neil talks about when he gets an impression or something like that, it might linger for a couple of days. Are you getting anything? And if so, what is the quality of that? And has your husband experienced anything weird like that?
I really haven't experienced anything weird or anything afterwards. Sometimes I feel more drawn to where I just want to be over at the lodge. I kind of get that quite a bit.
You're feeling drawn back. It could just be the excitement of something new as well, right?
But I think it's just, and even though I don't have like a lot to do, I just kind of want to be there all the time. So it's like, I get that, but nothing really weird, nothing like happens at home for us or anything, so I think we kind of have set our boundaries. Now, when I go to places, that I don't know, when I leave, I, ask them to stay and kind of do a little prayer. But I think, so much at the Boyd House, we've kind of set our boundaries so they already know. And when I have left the lodge, I'm like, hey, you got to stay here, so it's.
Yeah.
So you have a boundary with the spirits in the Boyd House and the spirits at the lodge. There's no crossover, right?
Right.
They can't come hitch a ride back and forth.
No, but interesting though. One time we were at a different location. We were in a totally different state. I think we were in Indiana, and we were just kind of running like it's one of the phone apps. I don't even remember the name of it, which I'm not a big app person, but Teresa likes to play around with it every once in a while when we're just kind of bored sitting around. And all of a sudden we were just sitting in a room, and all of a sudden it said Fred Eckert. And I'm like, what? Why is it saying that? So that was kind of weird. And we're like, are you with me? So it was kind of interesting being at a different location, and it said Fred Eckert.
Well, you never know. I mean, they do say that sometimes they follow you.
Right. So yeah, I don't know if they were there with us that night. I have no idea, but that is kind of interesting that we did get that.
It'd be strange if you discovered that there was a connection between the two real estates.
Oh my God, Steve, that's a very good point.
because you think about the timing, you buy the Boyd house, and at the same time, the previous owner buys the lodge, and when you're ready, they're ready to sell.
Yeah.
And, things sort of orchestrate mysteriously behind the scenes. Um,
Mysteriously.
and there could be, who knows?
Yeah,
There
you
might
never
be a
know.
connection between the two places. Uh,
Interesting. That's very interesting, Steve. I have
I
to
got
say.
another question for you, and then I just want to make sure I get to mine. This goes back to the deal of buying the place. Do you let them know that, hey, this place is haunted and this is why I want it, or do you just go into the real estate game of like, hey, I'm interested in this property, but don't really say much about what you want to do?
Well, I have to say what I'm going to do because I'm not going to be your average buyer where I'm going to walk through and just go, looks great. We'll have an inspection. I'll let you know.
Right.
Because I have to investigate it. So when I first find realtors and explain that, I get really hesitant because I don't know how they're going to take it. Because
Mhm.
some are like,
Cheryl, I got another one.
So luckily, this lady, she was totally fine with it. So bless her heart. But yeah, she didn't. She kind of went through the initial walkthrough with us, and then she pretty much stayed outside. Well, while I did my investigation because she didn't really was not her thing, but she.
So you're just rolling the dice. You're saying, hey, it's an 1861 Masonic Lodge. You tell your husband, let's roll the dice on this one. Then you drive like 6-8 hours, and then you do some EVP, some EMFs, just hoping for the best. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, it's kind of what happened. We kind of looked at it and we talked, we had 6 hours to talk about it on the way home. But we just kind of, he really liked the structure of the building. He said, even if we didn't put money into it, he said she's built super strong. She's still going to be there. So he did like that there wasn't going to be like we've looked at some things that were pretty dilapidated and, I get the stars in my eyes and I look beyond that where he like brings me back down to reality. Like, look, you're for real here. So, but yeah, I just, like I said, it just called to me, just kind of get a feel for it. It was same with Boyd House. I kind of, when I was searching through the MLS, of course we looked at other locations, but when I came across Boyd, I was like, this is the one, so I can say I kind of have, I wouldn't say I'm psychic or whatever, but I kind of get that intuition.
Sure. I think everybody has that. Yeah.
And then I know when I am investigating, I do get that feeling. I know when they're around me.
Right.
Would you rate this? Would you rate your new place, the 1861 Masonic Lodge, as a spiritually active home?
It definitely with the spirits, and I think right now we're like I said, we're trying to figure out who. But I know for a fact that some of those are Masons that are at that locations, and we're just starting to learn too. I didn't really know a lot about Masons, and I don't think a lot of people do. But it's just crazy, just some of the rites and the rituals and things that they have for them. These were ceremonies and things that were performed in that lodge. So it creates a lot of energy. I think it brings, maybe the previous Masons, they just love that building so much in life. And it was back then, it was a way of life. It's a little bit different now. But back in the 1900s, I mean, that's like your religion. That's where you're at.
If I may recommend something, is go when next time you go there. You said you're going in April. Go there with a Bluetooth speaker, and find on YouTube an old Masonic ceremony, and go to that altar and play it, and then just have everybody around just to watch what happens, to see if all of a sudden you get any kind of activity. It's an experiment that I've actually ran before, but with a different to see what kind of energy is going to happen with recordings. I think that would be very interesting for you to try out.
Yeah, we did something similar to that when the whole team was there. So I actually got an American flag and a Masonic flag. And then I had found a pamphlet in the lodge from one of their ceremonies. And one of the songs they played was Grand Old Flag. So we both stood, me and Alex stood on the main podium area. And then we kind of had the flags rolled up and we played the song and then we kind of dropped the flag so that they would roll down. So we kind of did that. And then we left the flags there, of course, for them. But when we were doing an Estes session, ones came in and just said, whoa, wait a minute. Like they were all super excited to see that these flags were hanging. But then we did ask them, they said they did like the flags. So
Nice. All right. Well, Jill, I appreciate you reaching out to us again and coming on here today. And I hope that you're very successful at both the houses, the Boyd House as well as the Masonic Lodge. And thank you very much for coming on. And once again, please give out that website that people can go to.
Yeah, it's the haunted 1861 Masonic.com.
Okay. All right, Jill. Steve, you got anything?
This is amazing. We got to get ourselves out to the Boyd House for sure. And when we do come out to the Masonic Lodge, we're going to do it in not the hot summer. But I think
Maybe like a cool, I don't know.
What month do you guys stop in? Is it October?
Yeah, October. So they're a little warmer there. I kind of did a little research. So they're more like in the high 30s, low 40s that time of year. So.
All right. Well, we're going to come out there with a hot thing of tea, sir.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, ladies
Coffee,
and
tea,
gentlemen.
or me is what the old lady will say.
All right, so this is Neil with the Paranormal Guys, and of course that's Steve saying thank you to Miss Jill Shelly once again, and as always, boys and girls, boo.
Boo.
All right,
Got it.